I've been the highest rank in Rocket League since 2016. Ever since I started playing, whether it was Xbox or PlayStations, I have always used a controller. Other than on a super rare occasion, but out of my over 5,000 in-game hours, less than 100 of those have been spent on keyboard and mouse. So this gave me the question, what rank could I get if I played on keyboard and mouse right now? Here are the rules. I have to start on an alt account, so I have to go through every rank. Every game has to be a 1v1, so I can't have any help from teammates. And once I lose 2 games in the same rank, the challenge is over. This is to ensure I don't develop my mechanics after playing for so long. Note that these games were recorded at the end of Season 3 when most players already had their rewards. And if any of the players I beat in this video are watching, just let me know, I owe you a free win. Now let's get on to the challenge. Our first game was against Nighthawk 45415. I knew going into this challenge that kickoffs would be especially hard for me, but fortunately I was still able to win some kickoffs despite playing on keyboard. And after playing for a couple minutes, I noticed my mechanics really weren't as bad as I thought they'd be. Sure, they're miles worse than normal, but I could manage the basics and even some aerials without much difficulty. So we take the first game and it's looking promising. Then I managed to win a few games just from being able to score pretty easy shots, and eventually land myself in Gold 3 Division 3 after placements without actually conceding a single goal so far. Keep in mind this alt isn't brand new, hence where we're placed. Now on the borderline of Platinum, we load into the next game against Aldum 2009. And while flipping diagonal on kickoff is the best strategy, I elected to just flip forwards since moving diagonally proved to be much more difficult on keyboard. And it worked pretty well since the players in this rank rarely flip twice on kickoff. After scoring a few more open nets, it was evident that Gold and likely even Platinum were not going to be much of an issue to deal with. So I continued on with more games in Gold, and here's where I finally conceded my first goal in the challenge. I took a bad 50 and Soroserum scored with less than a minute into the game. Fortunately for me though, I immediately scored back on him and it was looking like his goal was a bit of a fluke. Until he beat me on a kickoff and managed to score again. We had to get a bit more serious here, and we started playing much better, winning the game 7-2 by forfeit. But it was still a little scary seeing that we were in Gold and still losing kickoffs. The next game we went down 2 goals from a terrible challenge and this awful shot, leaving him with a wide open net. After thinking I was going to go down 3-0, I managed to get a decent dribble, then free net to bring us back into a tie game. I then got a lucky dunk and capitalized on the opponent going boost over ball, giving us a decent lead. After a few back and forth goals, the opponent had enough, calling the forfeit win with 2 minutes left, promoting us into Platinum 1. In our first Platinum game, I could see some mechanics coming back to me. Sure, they weren't anything special, but for this challenge, I'll take it. We did make some small mistakes here and there, but we're in Platinum, so we definitely weren't alone. After scoring some more goals and beating a few more Plats by outsmarting them, we reached Platinum 2 with no sign of slowing down. Plat 2 is pretty much the same thing with plenty of forfeits and really bad defensive mistakes, but I could tell that the game started to slightly speed up because the scoreline started getting closer and closer. But even still, we managed to hit Platinum 3 without much of a struggle. Like this first Plat 3 game, players tend to start out pretty strong with a close scoreline, but the more pressure I put on them, the more they seem to slow down and oftentimes just give up. After some more wins, we started getting into Diamond territory, still with 0 losses. So when we loaded into our Diamond promotion game, I was confident. After a bad dive from our opponent, we scored a typical open net, another goal from yet another bad mistake. We almost got punished here, but since they missed the open net, we scored right back on them. Then a couple more decent plays that somehow worked, sealed the game, putting us into Diamond 1. Our first Diamond game was a big wake-up call. Players started making less mistakes than before and wouldn't give as many free opportunities. Fortunately, my sub-tier keyboard mechanics were enough to get us a couple goals as well as recognizing bad challenges, and similar to Platinum, the more I took the lead back, the more the opponent would slow down. This was the pattern for the next 4 games. It would seem close at times, but ultimately as the game went on, the Diamonds lost stamina and couldn't keep up. Because of this, we promote to Diamond 2. I didn't expect much of a change from Diamond 1 to Diamond 2 since we would really be playing the same rank, and you can never really tell which rank is going to play better. And if you're curious to see how other sub-ranks do against each other, be sure to check out this video where I made every rank of the same tier playing a tournament against each other. But this ended up staying true. The same patterns kept happening whether it was early forfeits or just having more stamina than the Diamonds, giving us some free wins. There's actually a couple close games that had me worried for a bit, and I noticed a huge inconsistency when it came to Diamond 1v1s. Some of the games would be complete blowouts, and others I'd only win by a couple goals. But on our promotion game to Diamond 3, we ran into Envy Trades, repping the Season 2 Grand Champion title, and up until this point, we haven't played anyone at this level. Keeping this in mind, I took the kickoff knowing that I would have to play much smarter in order to win this one. With me still not being able to take proper kickoffs on keyboard, put me at a big disadvantage and made this game start out painful. In 8 seconds, we gave him 2 kickoff goals, but we managed to get them back pretty easily just by being in the right spot and scoring open nets. Just from his mechanics alone, we could see the difference in play. He was showing a much better game than Diamond level. The players that go all in with those mechanics typically leave you with a free goal if you manage to save their shot, and that's exactly what we did. Unfortunately though, we got a little greedy and did the exact same thing back to him, putting the game at 4-3. And when I thought I clutched the save, I got dunked, tying the game for him. This really didn't put us in a great spot since I couldn't do the kickoffs I wanted to, and my keyboard mechanics were were really showing. I lost another kickoff, luckily not getting punished off of it, then I made a terrible challenge, giving away the lead. After being annoyed at myself for giving that away, I took it out on Envy, tying it back up, then forced it into overtime. Where ultimately, another bad challenge gave him the game, taking our first loss. The game really felt like I lost it more because of my bad decisions than mechanics, which was the complete opposite than what I expected going into this challenge. But after not being punished in the lower ranks, it showed when I played against a better player. After the loss, I threw myself straight into the next game. Right away, I noticed myself making bad challenges again, giving away a lot of goals and barely taking the win. Next game looked a little bit better, making less mistakes and taking the win as well. In the following game, we loaded in against Baked Potato, who didn't seem to be an issue at all. We took 3 goals at the 30-second mark, then gave him a kickoff goal, which was kind of expected at this point. But after a couple minutes, we were up 6-2, looking promising. At this point, I kind of even took this game as a write-off, but the bad decisions came back once again, very evidently, and Baked Potato was not going to let his chance get away. And the game that seemed to be an easy sweep turned into our downfall, losing 7-10, ending our challenge run at Diamond 3 Division 1. Of course, losing 2 games doesn't give a clear answer as to what rank would accurately describe my hard-to-watch keyboard gameplay, but this definitely shows that game sense is a very important thing to have, even more than mechanics. When we were winning, it was from our smart decisions. And when we lost the challenge, it wasn't because of mechanics, but just from making bad challenges and generally having bad decisions. So hopefully this helps you develop your gameplay, and for the next time you want to go for that triple reset, backboard, musty double tap in your ranked games, maybe you'll think otherwise.